Okay. It's an antique piece. Good evening and welcome. Hi, do you have the keys of the black box? Nobody has the keys of the black box. Yeah, but the alarm is still on the key. Yeah. So that's a big problem. Are you on? Hi, welcome to the Atelier 89. So tonight we'll present a lovely lady who has been writing about the Caribbean Link 3 like no one else before. So all the beautiful spreads you have seen on the internet and on the site of the Caribbean Link has done by, from Barbados, the lovely lady, it's Natalie Maguire. Please come up.
Oh, that's very loud. Okay. Bon noche. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much to Elvis for hosting us at Ateliers 89, and to the other co-directors, Holly and Annalie, who will be arriving on Monday, for sustaining the Caribbean Link residency so that people like me can connect with extraordinary creative practitioners like this group here. Sorry, I'm just going to move this over a little bit. Okay. And thank you all for coming out on your Friday evening to give your time to listen to this. I'll try to be brief. So for those who I haven't met yet, my name is Natalie, and I'm one of the creatives in residence here at Caribbean Link 3. My work involves attempting to write about art, about culture, and about critical thinking, to nurture shared understandings of these things that are so necessary to facilitate hope and change in a region where creative concepts are often drowning. I work in a space that I love, with people at the forefront of that creative facilitation. I am lucky enough to contribute to it. Having heard all of your incredible stories over the past couple of weeks, the only thing I can really offer you is my own. These are my thoughts. The island that I come from, in a way, has succumbed to a certain collective disheartenment. Barbados, from an external gaze, is beautiful and cheerful and what people may call idyllic. But for those living in the belly of it, it is often a place without hope. Intoxicated on the illusion of the picturesque, there is a void that can swallow you whole, financially, socially, emotionally, and creatively. And so, pardon? Okay. Should I wait? Okay. All good? Pardon? All good? Okay, great. So the island that I come from has, in a way, succumbed to a certain collective disheartenment. Barbados, from an external gaze, is beautiful and cheerful and what people may call idyllic. But for those living in the belly of it, it is often a place without hope. Like here? Okay. Yep. Intoxicated on the illusion of the picturesque, there is a void that can swallow you whole, financially, socially, emotionally, creatively. And so people leave. People leave the island to build new lives, to only visit during holidays and sustain popular ideals of the lightness of Barbados. Professionally, I was interested in art and philosophy and the nature of interrogating identities. I wanted to work within these frameworks in Barbados. But these were concepts that in recent times had very little accommodation in the island, in the mindset of the people who lived there. The works of giants such as Edouard Glissant and Stuart Hall and Derek Walcott and George Lamming did not exist in the everyday Barbados I was encountering. These concepts were thought of as irrelevant. So I left. Having gained an art history BA from the UK, I went to Australia and eventually New Zealand. It was as geographically far away as you can get from the Caribbean. In this incubator of distance, I started regularly documenting thoughts about visual culture. I wrote about the void, about art and its relationship to space, about this inherent need to aesthetically fill voids or highlight their existence. I wrote about Rihanna and cultural amalgamation in the Caribbean representation for economic gain. I wrote about finding the beauty in the desolate wreckage of urban Barbados. I wrote to no audience. No one had asked for these thoughts. They were irrelevant concepts. It was about spring 2011 when I began planning to leave Auckland and kept thinking about the creative void in Barbados, about what appeared to be the general lack of interest in contemporary art. People there were comfortable with art staying in its picturesque corner, where imagery can be regurgitated and sold for consumption. Art in the Caribbean is useful if it can contribute to the tourism tyrant, exploiting and sugarcoating and enforcing social amnesia instead of questioning it. I thought there must be work being made in the region that didn't include chattel houses or sunsets on the beach or palm trees, that mediums other than painting and styles other than realist or impressionist interchanges existed in Caribbean visual language. It's not that those other things weren't art, just there had to be more. In thinking and writing and sitting thousands of miles away from Barbados in a room in Auckland, I searched online for contemporary art in the Caribbean. I wasn't really sure what I was looking for, perhaps just confirmation of the palm tree abyss. What I stumbled on, though, undoubtedly led me to standing here today, and it is undoubtedly the reason why I'm able to pursue creative projects and connect with invigorating individuals and have a sense of social relevancy. It was a website that detailed a Caribbean publication, which had been launched earlier that same year, a site describing its purpose as filling a void by offering a critical space for contemporary artists. It seemed that whilst I and others had been running from the void, two artists had founded an army, ready to reclaim the creative space that had been swallowed from under us. An army of contemporary artists, thinkers, writers, an army that saw a collective Caribbean creative community as more significant than the cultural exclusivity of national identities. I immediately looked to enlist, hungry for ways that I could contribute to this movement. And so I met Holly. In our first conversation over Skype, she spoke of the contemporary artwork that was being produced in the Caribbean, mostly invisible in the mainstream arena. She spoke of the lack of critical writing from within the region on these works, the lack of local platforms to encourage visibility. She spoke about ARC's vision for how that will change, how they're striving to connect to the creative community from across the Anglophone, Francophone, Spanish, and Dutch Caribbean. And then she told me of an initiative that a Barbadian artist was hoping to launch on the island that year, and asked if I was interested in assisting with that. I was being offered a place in the trenches at the forefront of the battle to lead the cultural landscape of Barbados boldly into its own future. I did not hesitate to say yes. In the face of revolution, you don't hesitate. That Barbadian artist was Annalie Davis, and the space being launched was the Fresh Milk Arts Platform, Inc. I cannot do justice to Fresh Milk in attempting to articulate how significant it is for arts in Barbados, the Caribbean, and the creative lives it's impacted globally. But in the 4 years that followed that conversation with Holly and my return to Barbados, I have written and curated, performed and collaborated. I have co-constructed grants and workshops and board meetings and digital spaces. I have attended conferences, screenings, exhibitions, panels, all specifically for the Caribbean contemporary art. I left Barbados again to study in New Zealand. I obtained an MA and developed educational frameworks and implemented inclusive design for museum programming within the Caribbean community. In June this year, I came back to Barbados. The void is being filled with incredible speed. Scaffolding put in place for emerging creatives like myself to be supported and sustainable. Through connections and collaborations, the Army for Reclamation has been building across the region and the diaspora. There is now new media at the TTIFF, Caribbean presences at Volta in New York and Video Brazil. There's Tilting Access, an international artists initiative, and Small Axe symposiums, and a digital Caribbean art map. There's Caribbean Linked, where artists from all over the region have the opportunity to apply for a residency program specifically geared to intra-regional dialogue with peers. This exists now. 4 years ago, it didn't. There is more visibility. People have noticed this surge of artistic productivity, this revolution. I am now writing to an audience. My hunger is their hunger, and the demand for the language to capture and interrogate contemporary art in the Caribbean means that writers like myself have been releasing critical thoughts in essays, articles, exhibition texts, and conference papers almost as fast as we're thinking them. It's humbling. In this battle to reclaim artistic space, we as practitioners have been granted a level of unprecedented creative freedom. The latest curatorial project I'm involved in sits in this space of freedom. Fresh Milk was looking to sustain relationships amongst platforms it had engaged with at the 2014 David Dale Gallery International Artists Initiative in Glasgow. That initiative was an interjection into the Commonwealth Games in Scotland, with a line of inquiry around artistic exchange between former British colonies. I was still in New Zealand at the time when Annalie was developing concepts for future connections with these spaces. One of them was in Auckland, so she asked if I would be part of the project team, and the Transoceanic Visual Exchange began to develop. Transoceanic Visual Exchange, or TVE, is a collaborative project between Fresh Milk in Barbados, Room in New Zealand, and Video Art Network Lagos in Nigeria. We're about halfway through the timeline, and we'll be bringing a survey of recent film and video works from the Caribbean, Polynesia, and Africa to be screened in Barbados, Auckland, Nigeria, and our digital space in October this year. The aim of TVE is to negotiate new routes of cultural connectivity outside of traditional geopolitical exchanges, and explores works that fall in between the cinema and the exhibition space. In co-designing the project, I wanted to question the hierarchy of curatorial frameworks and have a community-driven narrative for the pieces selected. We released an open call for works, and then with the submissions in mind, held workshops with interested people in the regional artistic community to pool thought resources on lines of inquiry. This included probes such as what Caribbean narratives are communicated through film, and how video works can facilitate regional and international artistic communities. From these discussions, a shortlist in each region was created and shared with other partners. We're now in the process of collating submissions for the combined screenings and developing integrated programming that can also be accessed via our site, which is our 4th screening space. It's an exciting time for contemporary art in the Caribbean. The nurturing platforms of Fresh Milk, ARC, Alice Yard, Atelier 89, to name a few, mean that as emerging practitioners, we are relentlessly supportive to have creative freedom. I believe that with this freedom comes a collective responsibility to expand critical artistic practice to the best of our ability, to not settle, to not rest, to not leave. We are the ones who are mapping the new cultural landscape of the Caribbean. Thank you. Any questions? No questions. Perfect.
Dear Natalie, you left the people so astonished that they didn't know what to ask. So maybe they will come later on with some questions. So tonight we have a special performance by Mr. Diego and Espinosa. With you, ladies and gentlemen, Diego Espinosa.
Thank you very much. Good night, everyone, everybody. Let's put this here. I guess it might be wise to change the light. Could we turn off the projector also? Thank you. It's okay.
Maybe we should put the spotlight on you.
Yeah, this is good. Thank you. Fums bo wo ta za u pochif kwie B bo dl r b bo fums bo r b bo fums bo wo b bo fums bo wo ta bo fums bo wo ta za fums bo wo ta za u fums bo wo ta za u pochif kwie de dessen r iem piftif totil yuka rinse que te bebe inskermu su inse su rinskermu raket be rumftifto su inse su inskermu su inse su rinskermu raket be ze fims bogota za u ze de wewe fims raket rinse que te 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 be bo bo fims bo Bogoro, fums bogo, bogorota, fums bogota, bogorota za, fums bogota za, Bogorotaza u, Fumsbogorotaza u, Bogorotaza upo, Fumsbogorotaza upo, Bogorotaza upogo, Fumsbogorotaza upogo, Bogorotaza upogif, Fumsbogorotaza upogif, Kriye. Raketarinsik, 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 bebo, bogo, Fumsbo, Bogoro, Fumsbogo, Bogorota, Fumsbogota, Bogorotaza, Fumsbogotaza, Bogorotaza Fumsbogotaza Bogorotaza upo, Fumsbogotaza upo, Bogorotaza upogo, Fumsbogotaza upogo, Bogorotaza upogif, Fumsbogotaza upogif, Kvie. Raketarinsik, 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 bebo, Fumsbogotaza upogif, Kvie. Dat is een r i en piftilto. Dat is een r i e piftilto. Dat is een r piftilto. Dat is een r piftilto til. Dat is een r piftilto til. Dat is een r piftilto til. Yoga. Fumsbogotaza upogif. Dat is een riempiftilto til yoga. Rinske de baby, inskrimo, suense su rinskribo. Rakke de baby, sikke de baby, rinske de baby, rakke de baby, sikke de baby, insker, rinske de baby, insker, rakke de baby, insker, sikke de baby, inskrimo, rinske de baby, inskrimo, rakke de baby, inskrimo, sikke de baby, inskrimo, ziu, rinske de baby, inskrimo, ziu, rakke de baby, inskrimo, ziu, sikke de baby, inskrimo, ziu, ense, rinske de baby, inskrimo, ziu, ense, rakke de baby, inskrimo, ziu, ense, sikke de baby, inskrimo, ziu, ense, ziu, rinskribo, rinske de baby, inskrimo, ziu, ense, ziu, rinskribo, rakke de baby, inskrimo, ziu, ense, ziu, rinskribo, rakke de baby, rumfilto, suense, ziu, inskrimo, suense, ziu, rinskribo, rakke de baby, se, Fumsbogotaza upogif, Kvie. Dat is een riempiftilto til yoga. Rinske de baby, inskrimo, suense, ziu, rinskribo, rakke de baby, rumfilto, ziu, ense, rumfilto, suense, ziu, inskrimo, suense, ziu, rinskribo, rumfilto, suense, ziu, inskrimo, suense, ziu, rinskribo, rakke de baby, ze. Fumsbogotaza upogif, Kvie. Dat is een riempiftilto til yoga. Rinske de baby, inskrimo, suense, ziu, rinskribo, rakke de baby, rumfilto, rumfilto, ziu, ense, rumfilto, ziu, ense, ziu, inskrimo, suense, ziu, rinskribo, rumfilto, suense, ziu, inskrimo, suense, ziu, rinskribo, rakke de baby, ze. Raketarinsik, de bebo, Kvie. Dat is een riempiftilto til yoga. Fumsbogotaza upogif, Kvie. Dat is een riempiftilto til yoga. Rinske de baby, inskrimo, suense, ziu, rinskribo, rakke de baby, rumfilto, suense, ziu, inskrimo, suense, ziu, rinskribo, rakke de baby, se. Fumsbogotaza Fumsbogotaza Rinsk baby, it's Pumsbo, Tap! Thank you very much. This was a poem. It's the first part of a poem called Ursonate by a German visual artist who was called Kurt Schwitters. It was written between 1922 and 1932. It's a Dadaist poem. It doesn't mean anything, so it's pure rhythm and sound and silence. Some craziness also, of course. Yeah, let's go on to the second and last piece. I'm not sure if we should play it with the microphone. Yeah, let's give it a try. Thank you. Doesn't hold better without microphone. I'll do it without. It might just fall. Could we close the microphone, please? Or I close it here, right? Just put it here. Yeah, thank you. It makes feedback, no? No. Thank you. We have that feedback. Thank you very much. So, sorry, just to let you know, this was a piece called Silver Streetcar for the Orchestra by the American composer Alvin Lucier. It was written in 1988, and as you could tell, is about the physicality of sound and the acoustics of the space.
Dear Natalie, the people didn't want to ask you anything because they're afraid you're going to write bad about them. Dear Diego, no one has captivated everybody around here as you did. Congratulations with your performance tonight, and I'm so jealous of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, tomorrow morning we are trying to get everybody at 9 in the buses. So at 8:30 we're starting to leave. So we'll bring the food in. You pack up your own sandwich or wrap in your bag, and a bottle of water and some chips. So we will move to the natural pool. And we want to be back before the sun is high. So I please ask you not to drink too much tonight, because then it's going to be hell to walk in that sun tomorrow. So please be on time, and we are trying to be here on time to move out. So we hope to reach Ryan at 11:30, where Ryan and Alidia will show us some of their works, and we'll have Ryan picking up the lunch at Don Pincho before we arrive at. Did you know that, Ryan? It's a free it's 2 free tickets from Trudy to Data Panic tomorrow night. So thank you very much for cooperating with Ateliers 89, Trudy. Oh, and I forgot a 3rd ticket for Shamil. Sorry about that, Shamil. It's 3 tickets donated by Trudy, sorry, and Cheswell. Don't look like that to me. I'm gonna kill you later. So please, let's go to the canteen and have some drinks. Thank you so much.